Hi there, it's Skyward Shield. Welcome to a Football Talks Power Rankings edition. This is either the penultimate video of the season or the final video of the season. I'm not sure if I'll have a chance to make one of these again. But anyway, so let's just jump right into it. Let's go to Tier 4, teams 25 to 32. These teams we won't be talking about next week much, even if we get into the chance, we'll see. The bottom four, still the same. What else is new? These four teams suck. And then after that, the Bengals moved up only one spot because they beat the Lions, and this eliminated the Lions from playoff contention. And just rest in fucking pieces. Detroit fired Caldwell, but we'll get to them a little more later. Bears, though, you beat the Browns. I guess that's something worth praising. You want a cookie? I know you're not that good of a team, so I guess it might matter a little bit more, but by the tiniest of margins. But hey, I'm not going to move you more than 2 spots. That's my rule with the Browns. I rarely move teams more than 3 with them. But, and even then, it better be damn good. But either way, a team at 25, Denver, I think they really regret getting Paxton Lynch. And also, but yeah, I just want to mention it again. Can you guys stop saying that John Elway is the greatest GM of all time? Paxton Lynch, just because he got Peyton Manning, he wanted to go anywhere because he wanted to keep playing. Yes, that's such a hard task. A guy who wanted to play literally anywhere he could. And you're like, oh, look how much of a genius John Elway is. Paxton Lynch is a nobody. He's not that good right now. Anyway, let's move on to Tier 3, teams 17 through 24. The first team I got to give note of are the Cardinals. The Cardinals did very well. I mean, I think they're a good roster. They're just missing a few pieces aside from the quarterback that they could address. I feel like they're the Houston Texans from last year. Everything's set book but a quarterback. And I know you could say, but we have Carson Palmer, Josh. No, that may be true, but he's not going to last that long. If anything, this would have been the perfect opportunity to tank and just go for another player, like go for a quarterback. But I mean, you may have to draft one in the second round if there's one worthy of that spot, and just groom him a little bit while Carson Palmer is still playing. But he's going to get injured. But should he retire this year, oh boy, it's going to be a bit of a chaotic mess. I just don't want to hear Bruce Arians say that, oh, I believe in Drew Stanton. Because none of us do. You must be seeing something else. But anyway, good job, Cardinals. You shut out the Giants. I mean, you shut out a bad team, but I'm really proud that they did something like that. Larry Fitzgerald had a great game, and Larry Fitzgerald is, he's one of the best. Although he didn't have the best catch this year. That's been dethroned by Houston with DeAndre Hopkins. If the only touchdown pass of the day from Houston, but it was a damn good one. But yeah, good job, DeAndre Hopkins. A shame you won't be acknowledged for anything because it's going to go to somebody else. I think Larry Fitzgerald's catch going to win because it might be remembered. But hey, you know how sometimes they say awards ceremonies, if you want to win an award to better your odds, you want to be like one of the last ones to come out just before, like those movie ceremonies. They say release your movie before the ceremonies come out because that'll be in everyone's minds or be the most recent and the most fresh thing in their minds. But anyway, we'll see. I hope Hopkins gets Play of the Year because that was an insane catch. Anyway, moving on. Green Bay still staying the same, even though they got shut out. I really wanted to drop them more, but I can't say they're that bad. Well, assuming you had Aaron Rodgers. The Raiders are a mess. Now, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, they want to fire Jack Del Rio. I don't think they should. I think he's fine. I just think that this roster is just incomplete. They had a good run last year, but you can't fool them twice. You need that defense. You need to address the secondary. Maybe add a linebacker or two. The defense needs a major, I wouldn't say overhaul, but it needs a major revamp. It just needs to be boosted. That's what it needs. I think, for lack of a better term, you need to give it a boost, a jolt. Give it new parts. Update it. Anyway, 17, Washington. You beat the Broncos. Good job. I mean, you're out of the playoffs, but Kirk Cousins still looks good, and I'm going to like wherever he goes, maybe. Actually, though, I've said it on the podcast, I really want him to go to Arizona. If Arizona can't address the quarterback and situation and Carson Palmer retires this year, I really hope they make a push for good old Kirk Cousins. I would love to see Kirk Cousins throwing to Larry Fitzgerald for a year. I feel like they could be a playoff contender with Kirk Cousins there. Denver's a good spot too because you still got Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas, but who knows? I think those two places perhaps might be one of the better areas. But anyway, Detroit. Oh boy, what a fun little ride! How do you go 3-0 and then finish 5-7? Yikes! That is just disgusting. Caldwell, I don't know his fate. I think he'll get fired, but who knows? I have a feeling he will. Bob Quinn should find a good coach that could fill in that spot. I don't know who that will be. Some say Josh McDaniels. I laugh for now. Until Belichick goes, I don't see Josh McDaniels going anywhere. Maybe if they win a Super Bowl, but if they don't, I think he'll stay. I think he just wants more rings. Get all the rings you think you can get away with the Patriots, and then try and get one with another team if you can. Anyway, let's move on to Tier 2. A team that's barely on this thing because I really couldn't... because Dallas beat Washington, so I gotta go keep them above Washington, kind of. I had to put Dallas at the bottom, Tier 2. I mean, the Cowboys... Here's the thing. People were going around saying that, oh, but Josh, your team is trash. So why are you telling? I hear my own family tries to give me this shit because I don't know if I've told you guys this, but I grew up in a Cowboys household. Most of my family who do like football love the Cowboys. I got a couple oddballs here and there who don't like either Texas team. They like some other team, like the Patriots or the Packers. But anyway, they tell me, but your team's even worse. You have a worse record. It's like, yeah, but we have an excuse for it. What do you have? Oh, we lost Zeke. Oh, there's your problem. You're getting upset. You're saying you're bad because you lost one guy. We lose half of our fucking roster, and you're gonna say that we're a naturally trashy team, but you lose one, and you're like, it's just a fluke season. Get that shit out of here. The fact that you need to be carried by one man that isn't a quarterback speaks volumes. And I have no disrespect for Dak. I think he's done what he could. That offensive line is overrated and has deteriorated. And I can't believe you need one running back to save you. That's very dangerous. That's a dangerous way to play. Because if he gets stupid again and does something bad, I don't know what that will be, so I'm not going to speculate. If he does something that winds him up on the wheel of discipline again, my, we're going to have some problems in Dallas. And apparently the word on the grapevine is that it seems that Jerry Jones is not going to fire Jason Garrett. Basically, that he has his job secure. You could tell why, because he kisses Jerry's ass, and he lets Jerry speak for the team and control the team. This is an example of a crazy owner who has way too much power and speaks way too much. He tries to get involved in things that he is not suited for anymore. Either way, if the Cowboys keep Garrett, it's going to be a fun ride to see the Cowboys, see if they can stay, if they either become the next Jeff Fisher-led team, like the Rams last year, or maybe they'll reach that little status one more time and get eliminated in the playoffs by Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. Now, there's a team here on this list that shouldn't belong if you just look at records. But when you give context, you understand. I'm talking about the San Francisco 49ers, led by Jimmy G. The Patriots are going to look like fucking idiots for thinking they got away with so little. They could have taken more. If San Francisco knew that this guy was going to make them look from a trash team like Browns level, who only won one game, to now win 4 in a row, I think they would have sold the bank to him because they only gave him a second-round pick. The Browns offered 10 picks or something, and yet they're like, nah, we don't want to give them to you. But 49ers is like, we only have this measly second-round pick. So, okay. New England's going to look like a fucking idiot unless they get a really good quarterback at some point. Who knows? I have a feeling they're going to pull off an Aaron Rodgers move, maybe. We'll see. But you kind of have to now that you got rid of Jimmy G. And Jimmy G was perfect. He was in the perfect shape. I don't know. I mean, just imagine what the Patriots would be like if they had him. Actually, everyone would have been right. The two generations of back-to-back insane quarterbacks. Basically, you pull off Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, but they chose not to. So they have to try and do it again. But their time's running out, in my opinion, but we'll see. 49ers, though. You beat the Jaguars. My upset of the week that I called. That was very fun. And, yeah. Great job, San Fran. I'm very proud, especially considering how salty Jags fans were talking shit. Being upset, like, guys, you're in the playoffs already. You lost to the 49ers. As funny as that is, you're not dead yet. You could fix your shit. But it was so fun seeing Blake Bortles get exposed by what I call a mediocre, middle-of-the-road defense. It's not that it's bad by default. I love DeForest Buckner. He's perhaps my favorite player on that team that isn't Jimmy G. But I think I actually called him going there too. By the way, it was either that. No, I think it was. Yeah, it was him. I think. Anyway, so what do we? So what is the speed for San Francisco? Well, they have a lot of cap, so they're gonna pay Jimmy G. After that, they could probably sign a good player or two if they want. Of course, you know my rule. You don't want to sign an entire roster onto your team via free agency, because signing too many can be a bad idea, especially if half of them are busts. You want to get the surefire players that get one that you know will fit in just fine. That's my rule. I mean, don't believe me? Go ask the Giants who bought a defense, and look where that ended up. Anyway, so yeah, Jaguars fans are salty, especially Jags players. Talked a lot of shit on the field, and then my favorite was them arguing with each other or taunting the 49ers when they were losing, and then also headbutting one of them. Nice job, Jags. I mean, if it makes you feel better, I don't know where Jags fan is. You're no longer the number one defense, as that goes to the Vikings now because of this loss. Because the 49ers just cracked open the Jaguars defense like it was an egg. And now it's the Vikings that are number 2. But don't worry, Jags fan. I dropped them from 5 to 10. They're still a playoff contender, no matter how I slice it. But you better hope that was the last time Blake Bortles had his epic meltdown. Because if that happens again in the playoffs, you're not getting another chance to fix that. But hey, I hope he does well enough for you guys to re-sign him and pay him a shit ton of money. You know, the remainder of your cap and all that. We'll see what you do. You can either re-sign him for all you got, or you go for someone like Eli Manning, maybe Kirk Cousins. If you got Kirk Cousins, I would be actually upset, and I would fear a new dynasty in the AFC South potentially. But I really doubt Kirk Cousins is going to go there. I feel like Arizona and Denver call out to him a little more. And those two teams would be great too. Trust me. But we'll see. Anyway, the Atlanta Falcons, they just need to get a win and they're in. The Panthers are already in. So technically they don't have much to play for, but they want the division crown. So they are going to keep playing. They're going to keep trying. But the Falcons just need to win. They're in because there's no need to worry about Detroit. The only team to worry about is the Seahawks, but they beat the Seahawks, so just win. That's it. If the Seahawks win and the Falcons lose, the Seahawks get in. And I kind of want that because I want to see the Seahawks play the Panthers. Anyway, let's move on to Tier 1, the top 8 teams. The Ravens are now here. I think that they are... How do I put it? I think the Ravens can maybe make some noise. I mean, out of all these teams, I think they're the only one that can maybe give New England trouble, because they always give New England trouble in the playoffs in Baltimore or in Foxborough. It doesn't matter. They always play them close. So, if anyone's hoping for an AFC team to dethrone the Patriots, it's this one. I know you can make a case for the Jaguars, but to me the problem is not the Jaguars' defense or their composure. Actually, the composure and attitude is a problem, but that's not the main problem. The main problem is Blake Bortles. If he melts down, you might have another 28-3 situation like in the last time these two played each other in the playoffs. And that was fun. Either way, the Ravens, they look good. Just get another win. You're in. Can you do that? I think you can. I mean, you're playing the Bengals. You played the Browns last week, or 2 weeks ago, I think. Nah, it was last week. and now you have the Bengals. You can do it. I believe in you. Anyway, next up, we have Philly. Philly's back up in Tier 1 because they got enough wins to convince me, yeah, they're okay now. And they've got the first seed locked up. It's all theirs. So the playoffs will run through Philadelphia. If that's a good thing or a bad thing, it really depends. We don't know what Eagles team will show up. They've looked good, but they've played, the Giants or the Raiders, and now they're going to play the Cowboys? That's not impressive to me. I needed to see them beat another team, but sadly we won't get that chance, but that's what the postseason's for. Next, on the top 5, we've got Saints, Rams, Steelers, Vikings, Patriots. Same old, same old. The Rams, by the way, have clinched the division. They are the NFC West champs since 2003. It's been a long time, but good job on the Rams. I'm glad to see, because Sean McVay is such a good coach. It's just a shame I don't like the Rams owner that much. Anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Urinating Trees video about the Rams. You will understand what I mean. And of course, the Patriots still at the tippity top. It's all good for them. I mean, if they get a win, or if the Steelers lose, they will secure home field advantage again, and that implies a lot in favor of the Patriots. Anyway, the Steelers, they beat the Texans. They absolutely trounced them, and that was embarrassing. I'm glad I told Bill yesterday. It's like, yeah, I'm changing my pick back to the Steelers. I told him before the game started, of course. There's a tweet that proves it if anyone doubts that, but anyway. Yeah. Steelers look good again, but really they need Antonio Brown for the playoffs. I don't know if they'll have him by then. Good news is they have a bye week. That helps a lot for all their players. But we'll see. Anyway, let's talk about the 5 games to note. This may not matter at all because most of the playoff spots are all locked in. Like, for example, we know the first 3 are for the AFC are Patriots, or we know the top 3 teams are Patriots, Steelers, and Jaguars. But the Jaguars are locked into the 3rd spot. The only difference is who's going to get home field advantage between Pittsburgh and New England. So that's one of the mysteries. On the NFC, we already know we know all but one division. We got the Rams with the West, the Vikings with the North, and the Eagles with the East. The only thing is the South. Probably go into the Saints, but it could go to the Panthers. Anyway, let's go into the 5 games to note. First game, I have to go with San Francisco and the Rams. I mean, the Rams have nothing more to play for because they are pretty much locked into the 3rd or 4th seed. They are going to try, I think, but I don't know. We'll see. But I think this will be good to see Jimmy G against a really good defense, and see another really good defense, and see how he does against that. I mean, he looked great against the best defense in the AFC, so I have good expectations for this one. And basically, 49ers fans have something to go for now, 40 miles out of San Francisco. But we'll see how that works, or that does. Second game, I'm going to go with Carolina Falcons. Or Carolina Panthers and Atlanta Falcons. This one, if Falcons win, they're in. If the Panthers win, they're in. They have a shot for the division crown. Just depends on the Saints game, which I guess let's lump that one into both NFC South games. So that's 2 and 3 right there. Panthers, Falcons, and Saints, Bucks. The Bucks played good last week, except for the last minute, because as soon as I heard, Carolina has the ball, yeah, they're gonna win, and they did. And it was a pretty weird win too. But anyway, 4th game. My 4th game, I think I'm gonna go with Dolphins and the Bills. Dolphins hosting the Bills. The Dolphins are playing spoiler right now, but if the Bills get in, they have a chance to get in. Or the Bills win, they have a chance to get in. And even if they win, they're not guaranteed anything though, because they need the LA Chargers to lose. If the Chargers win and the Bills win, the Chargers get in because the Chargers beat them head to head. So they have a direct face off basically that tiebreaker. They have a tiebreaker against each other because they played this year. I don't think the Bills are going to win this one, though. I have the Dolphins winning it. I feel like it's going to be a little more close. We'll see. I may change my pick. I don't know. We'll see. And my fifth game, I'm not really sure. There's nothing else that really matters in this game. So the other one. So for this fifth one, I'm just going to pick a game that I think may be sneaky fun to watch, perhaps. And I think for that one, I'm gonna go with Washington Giants, just because I'm not sure if this might be a game where we have two quarterbacks who are playing their last games with their teams. Kirk Cousins may leave this year, even though nobody's talking about it. I think that's a possibility, and Eli Manning is probably going to go. Why? I don't know, because they're blaming him for everything. But we'll see. I couldn't think of any other game, really. The other games just seem like duds compared to the ones that have actual playoff importance. So we'll see. Anyway, so I got you your 5 games. We've got 49ers Rams, which I know that one technically also doesn't have relevancy, but come on, the 49ers look good, and if the playoffs, if this was early in the season, we'd be hailing them as playoff favorites. Anyway, next up, I got the both NFC South matches: the Panthers-Falcons game and the Saints-Bucks game, the Dolphins-Bills game, and then Washington and New York. Anyway, that'll do it. This might be the end of the series, and if it is, it was fun. Except it might be better next year when I start from the beginning. So, yeah, that'll be better for all of us now, wouldn't it? Anyway, if I can make one more, I'll make one more. I'll make one more that'll just basically say this is my list for for all teams at the end of the regular season. And of course, I'll even make a Super Bowl pick at the end, but we'll see. Anyway, if not, I'll just go with Patriots Vikings for my Super Bowl pick. Although a real fun one would be Patriots Rams, because that one would be a rematch. But we'll see. I mean, Eagles Patriots too also would be a rematch, I believe. So yeah. Anyway, fun ride. If you disagree with any of these spots, feel free to put in the comment section below. I don't mind. Just don't be a dick about it. And yeah, if this is the end of the line, then I'll see you guys next season for more power rankings, or I'll see you guys next week.